It all started with a vision. A vision to care for a growing suburban community based in Hamilton Township, a community that would become one of New Jersey's largest towns, situated in a growing, diverse region.
I'm happy to be able to tell the story as to how it came about, because it almost did not happen. And it did happen, and it happened because people got together and fought for it and brought it to fruition. The people that made that move from Trenton General knew what they were doing. It took a lot of courage to buy this piece of land with the money that they didn't have. It was just like lightning striking at the right time. I vividly recall one evening, as mayor of Hamilton, I received a call from Dr. George Brown, who was a director of the Trenton General Hospital, asking me if I would attend a meeting because he had something very interesting for me about Hamilton Township. And you have to put it in perspective. Trenton General was a 3-story old mansion with about maybe 8 or 10 rooms with double beds and two little operating rooms. It was that night that they told me they had just signed a contract to purchase the tract on White Horse Hamilton Square Road where we're sitting today. And I was absolutely delighted because we were in the middle of talking about a park for Hamilton, which is today Veterans Park, a railroad station for Hamilton, a Center City project, which has the police station and library. Never dreamed about a hospital coming to Hamilton. The kicker was they said that the point in asking me to be there, would I accept the chairmanship of the fund drive to build a hospital? Well, I didn't even give it a second thought. I said, absolutely, I would be delighted. We certainly announced the fact that the hospital had purchased the land in Hamilton, and we encountered 2 years of serious opposition from the other hospitals in Trenton who did not want to see this hospital built. So we had a limited support from the medical community, except those that were already affiliated with Trenton General. But we started our fund drive, and we had the cooperation of so many people in Hamilton who felt, as we all did, that it would be a great thing for Hamilton. The biggest struggle in the construction of this hospital was raising the money and how we got to the point to be able to have enough money to convince a contractor to start building. And then when Bauer stepped up to the plate and said, I will start to build a hospital with the money you have and we'll go from there, I knew we had it made. There were 3 years there of planning that were very tenuous. The women in the town came in and formed an auxiliary, and they were tremendous, and the enthusiasm was so much, you just couldn't give up the idea. There was a group of people that did go to door to door. They raised 50 cents a dollar in cartons and what have you, and brought them in as part of a weekend fundraiser. There was a lot of that, small amounts, because in those 3 years there were all kinds of different methods of trying to raise money. Make a long story short, about 2 to 3 years later, we had raised about $1 million. And the crowning point and the best day of my life was the day that the ambulances lined up here from Trenton General 40 years ago to open this modern 40-some bed hospital for Hamilton Township. That was, to us, it was like building a very serious medical facility. Once the hospital was built, that paved the way for us to expand, and we had the land to do it. We had everything going for us. The doctors started to come in. We had a number of doctors that came onto our staff that gave us specialties that we needed to expand the hospital. And from that point on, it was not as difficult. For instance, the cardiac department grew by leaps and bounds, but when we look back to the original construction and what we see here as we drive through here, it's unbelievable. True, it's 40 years, but that's not an awful long time for this kind of progress. All I know is I was in the front seat there and I enjoyed every minute of it.
A vision to develop a world-class healthcare organization. Commitment to the highest standards of quality and service. Neighbors caring for neighbors. People who together achieved our country's highest honor for performance excellence, the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award.
I think what makes RWJ Hamilton special is that it is one of the largest community assets in our region. I think that's what makes me proudest of RWJ Hamilton. It is not about simply being a hospital. It is not simply about delivering health care. It is about being a community asset in an extraordinary community that we all know and love. The clinical integration with Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital in New Brunswick has meant an extraordinary world of difference for Hamilton. I have to give a lot of credit to Michael Bryant, who was the CEO at the time, who understood that Hamilton really had to affiliate with a major institution for its continued growth. And so Michael got together with John Morris, then chairman of the board, myself as vice chairman, Dave Costinas, one of our trustees, and suggested that we go have a conversation with Harvey Holzberg. Much to our pleasure, Harvey Holzberg saw the real value in the alignment between Robert Wood Johnson in New Brunswick and the then Hamilton Hospital. What we, in essence, did then was align with one of the nation's top hospitals. We have aligned ourselves with probably the strongest brand in healthcare in the state of New Jersey. It's by no accident that Hamilton services such a broad range of geography. What we have witnessed in the Central Jersey region is an explosion of growth. Consistent with that growth has been the development of Hamilton as a healthcare facility. The addition of the towers, the 2 South and 3 South to the campus, the development of the Women's and Infants Pavilion in 1997. Thereafter, we developed the North Tower for expanded emergency services and ICU services. We then developed the Cancer Institute of New Jersey at Hamilton, and then we moved forward with the development of the Lakefront Tower. The winning of the Malcolm Baldrige Award in 2004 meant a lot to the region that a community hospital in Hamilton Township was the first hospital in the state of New Jersey to win the Baldrige. It was at the time among only 8 hospitals in the country. It meant a great deal to the Robert Wood Johnson system because one of its system's hospitals actually had achieved an extraordinary level of service recognized by no less than the President of the United States. And it meant a great deal to our physicians who worked tirelessly to help us ensure that we would get the Baldrige. And most importantly, it meant a tremendous amount of pride for the distinction within the staff. Each day, these individuals who work at this facility are in large measure unsung heroes. They come in each day, they do an extraordinary job, they deliver great patient care, they go about the business of saving lives and ensuring that persons are returned to their loved ones. And consequently, the Baldrige Award recognized their service to the public as a whole. I believe that patients choose us because they know that they're going to get quality care. I believe patients choose us because they know they're going to get outstanding service. I believe patients choose us because it is their community hospital. And so when they go to the grocery store, or they go to the cleaners, or they go to the beauty shop, the very people that they see are the people who are delivering care to them. And so our patients have a real level of confidence in the delivery of health care within this institution, and most importantly, their support has been overwhelming over the course of 40 years. When you look at the beginnings of this hospital and the number of people who were here on day one when it opened its doors, who are still here 40 years later as either volunteers or auxiliaries, giving literally thousands of their personal hours as a commitment to the organization, I think it speaks well for the hospital and what the hospital has meant to the community.
A vision to provide comprehensive health care to the capital region. A hospital integrated with a regional healthcare system and academic medical center with access to specialists, science, and technology only found in the nation's best hospitals.
Our history and our current successes have been exceptional. Our efforts to deliver the highest quality, the safest, the most efficient and accessible care have been outstanding. Our vision for the future will build on all of those strengths and will respond to all of the community needs that we see out there. We see that there will be great growth in primary care, in women's and children's services, in surgical services, and ED services, as we've seen in the past. We will see innovation in many therapeutic areas. This will only be enhanced in the future by the innovative clinical integration that we envision with our partners in New Brunswick and the entire Robert Wood Johnson system. In addition, and most importantly, the unique collaborations that we see are possible with our physicians will set us apart. They will help define the success for us in the future. There's no question in my mind about that. It is this exceptional capacity for building relationships, for teamwork, and for patient care that distinguishes us. The future is exciting. It's extraordinary for us. It will be filled with innovative clinical integration. We will see ourselves enhancing our facilities and our campus. RWJ Hamilton will be the partner of choice for healthcare delivery in all of our service areas. I'm confident of that.
A vision realized when 40 years ago, Hamilton Hospital was established from the former Trenton General, later to become Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, Hamilton. For 40 years and well into the future, we are Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, Hamilton. The care you trust.